suspending Ja Morant from all team activities after a video that appeared to show him holding a gun began circulating on social media. This was Saturday night, right? It was, I guess, a friend of his went on IG Live. You know, they were in a car listening to music and whatnot, and we caught a glimpse of Ja Morant with a gun. Stack, I got to ask you, after this, what's likely to happen to Ja Morant?
You know, I honestly don't know. I was one guy, you know, that actually went to bat for him because I've been a guy who was throwing a lot of money at a young age and made a mistake. You know what I'm saying? But I'm totally different from the person I was. And, you know, I think a lot of people commend me on the changes I made, you know, after the mistakes I made. It's not what you do, it's what you do after. And what you do after is not do the same thing again. Is what he just did. So all the people like me that was taking up for him that said it was a mistake, he's a young kid, you know, we can't go to bat for him this time. This was the dumbest thing he could have done. This is a moron move. His parents should be embarrassed. His friends around him that like we said from the last incident wasn't his friend. So it's just a fucked up situation. But you got to really just put everything in his lap and let him deal with it. He got to deal with everything that comes with it because he done the same dumb thing again that he act like he went and got help for. Just like I told y'all, he didn't talk to nobody and get no help that fast. You know what I'm saying? It was no way. That was a publicity stunt. But this is all on him, and can't nobody defend him. And I definitely won't stand up and defend him because that was the dumbest thing you could have done.
Listen, I'll say this, Ashley and Stack and Corey. I think we all did the right thing, you know, on the first situation. The reason why we did the right thing is because none of us are perfect. We're all human. Thanks. We understand that. And what typically happens when you are a public figure, the media tears you down, and then the fan base follows, and then they tear you down because they think that's the right thing to do. But you can't throw rocks at a glass house. And Stack, Ashley, Corey, we all know this, that, you know, no one's perfect. Everybody got some shit going on. Everybody got skeletons in the closet. I don't care if you're holding a gun. I don't care if you're, I can have a whole laundry list of things that, you know, people struggle with. The reality is when you are a professional athlete, you're on a major platform, you're on the biggest stage, and there's millions of people watching you every single day. So what we did and what you did initially, Stack, is absolutely right. Now, with all that being said, I'll say this, right? And it's really piggybacking off of what I said before. For me, I had anger issues. Hell, I may still have anger issues, okay? I talked to a therapist. I seeked help. Actually, I continue to seek help, right? I continue to lean in when I need to lean in, whether it's a brother or a sister or if it's a professional when I need it, right? That's what I deal with. I needed help. Stack, you hit it on the head. Ja Morant, and I'm saying this because when Jay Cutler did this to me, when he called me out publicly, I didn't get it. Because you're supposed to be a brother. And how we're raised is what happens in the house stays in the house. Or if you right or wrong, I got your back. I got your back. But best believe when we sit at the dinner table or we sitting on the stoop outside the house, we're going to have some real conversations. That's what my dad did for me. That's what my mom did for me. That's what my neighbor Davon Allensworth did for me. That's what Sean and Alexis did across the street for me. And they continue to do that for me when I make mistakes. Okay? But, man, there's something special when you get held accountable publicly. And what you said earlier, Stack, is exactly that. Ja Morant doesn't have any problems. Ja Morant went to IMG Academy. Ja Morant got mom and dad in his life. Ja Morant's dad is sitting there courtside every single day, and I don't give a damn if he's wearing glasses, if he's wearing jewelry. I don't care if he has flavor. That's our culture. But his dad is in his life, and you're embarrassing your dad. Ja Morant is immature. And just like I said a couple weeks ago or a month and a half ago, it's not about it's not about if something's wrong. It's more so about when is he going to get it right, and what is he going to lose. Last time I talked about losing $100 million in career earnings from having anger issues and making the wrong mistakes. Ja Morant is just immature. I don't know what's going on with him, but it's going to take time. And when he looks up, he's still going to have a phenomenal basketball career. He ain't killed nobody. All right. He ain't going to jail. But what's going to end up happening, he's going to continue to lose deals. he's damn near on the cusp of losing the Powerade deal. They invested $10 million in the whole campaign that they had to push back. They was probably waiting until this offseason. Now they got to push back in probably another year. They may drop him. So he'll continue to lose deals, and he'll also lose money on the court, right? People are going to be afraid to invest in Ja Morant because of his immaturity. So that's what it's about for me, Ashley. This won't be the last time, unfortunately, that we're hearing about Ja Morant doing something boneheaded, right? And that's the journey for some people. You can name so many athletes, so many artists, and so many people that's made mistakes. He's only 23. And this is the path that he chose, and hopefully he can get back on track sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I mean, I was with both of you guys. I took up for him as well. I took a little bit of a different approach, when it first came out and he put out that statement, whether it was factual or, not. When somebody says that they're not dealing with X, Y, and Z in a healthy way, my first jump reaction is to go ahead and believe them. So for this to be the results of that alleged, therapy session and whatever it is, and him, soul searching just a couple of weeks later or X amount of weeks later is unfortunate. I'll say this about this. You guys hit a bunch of incredible points. And for me, once is a mistake, twice is a choice. And now he's making a choice. And whether or not that choice is going to be detrimental to his career as a whole, I don't think that his basketball career is going to take a monumentous hit. I still think he has a career in this league. I still think he is a generational talent. I still think he's young enough to go ahead and change the course, change the trajectory of the decisions he has made and where those decisions have led him. But I think there's a deeper situation here. He needs to figure out why being a basketball player is not enough. Because I think that we can all, speak to this. And Brandon, you can speak to this. Stack, you can speak to this. And anybody who comes from a hood or from an inner city, Ja Morant and the talent he possesses, there's a bunch of Ja Morants in the hood. There's a bunch of Ja Morants at the parks right now. The difference between Ja Morant and those guys is opportunity. The difference between Ja Morant and those guys are bad decisions. And Ja Morant has been given a gift. He has been given an opportunity to take his talent and manifest it. Take his talent and not only manifest it in terms of what he does on the court, but also take his talent and manifest it into what he can do outside of the game. He's drawn comparisons to one of the greatest players to ever play this game. That's Allen Iverson, one of my favorite players of all time. That is a level of talent. That is a level of accolades that guys only dream of. And you have been given this opportunity, and for whatever reason, you keep squandering it because you're not fulfilled with just being a basketball player. And only he can figure out why that is, why he has to be a rapper, why he has to be a gangster, why he has to be this, why he has to be that, why being Ja Morant, one of the greatest players we have seen in recent years, and who has
be the face of the NBA,
who has the potential to be an incredible talent in this league and to reach the pinnacle of Allen freaking Iverson, why that is not enough for him. And I can't answer that. Nobody here can answer that. Only Ja Morant can answer that. No. And only Ja Morant has the opportunity to change that.
I think we may be able to answer it. We've seen this story play out, Stack, right? Like I said, for me, I had some challenges and some issues that I had to sit down and talk to somebody about, right? And then there's immaturity. And then there's also how we, what's the word I'm looking for? How we celebrate, and you'll help me find the word, Ashley or Corey or Stack, how we celebrate that culture coming from the hood. Because that's what we know. That's who we look up to, right? Like Ja, like I said before, he went to IMG Academy, right? Like look at some of his younger videos when he was in elementary school and middle school. Ja ain't like that. Now, could his people be like that? Absolutely. But he ain't like that. But what I'm saying is we see so many times where, what they say, athletes want to be like artists and artists want to be like athletes. We think that's cool. We think sitting on the block is cool, right? And unfortunately, a lot of times it backfires on us.
But there are a lot of athletes who have stepped into the world of music and vice versa that aren't living what Ja is portraying to live.
They got him, Ash.
But the thing is like, listen, before I started college, when I graduated high school, my dad told me this, and it will stick with me for the rest of my life. He said, "There's nothing sadder in this life than wasted potential." And Ja Morant has the potential to be great. And he keeps squandering it to try to be something that he's not. You're not NBA YoungBoy. You're not Big Meech. You're not, John Gotti. You're not these guys. And for whatever reason, he is not okay with just being Ja Morant when Ja Morant is more than enough. There are a million people, like I said, more talented than him when it comes to this sport in the hood right now who would trade places with Ja Morant in a heartbeat and put everything that he's portraying to be, put it to the side.
Right.
And there comes a point, I understand he's 23 and we've all done stupid things when we were that age. I'm not going to go ahead and negate that. But unfortunately, there comes a point where you have to grow up faster than maybe you're ready to, whether it's because you become a young parent, whether it's because you lose your parents, whether it's because you are given opportunity that can change your life and you have to focus and tunnel vision on that. Ja Morant is in that situation. Yes, you're 23 years old and you're bound to do stupid things, but you're also given an exceptional opportunity that requires you to grow the hell up and grow the hell up quickly.
So listen, for me, Stack, I didn't get out of this phase until I was 26. But go ahead. I had a question for you, but go ahead. You look like you wanted to jump in.
For me, bro, it just shows a lot the things that he's doing, the unnecessary shit he's doing. That just shows people like us and the guys that raised me and the guys that are really from the neighborhood that you're not really from that. Because the guys that I know in the NBA, like Zach Randolph, you see where we still at. We still living good, staying away from all that. Yeah, we made mistakes as youngsters because we come from it and we were blessed with a lot of things that we didn't grow up and we didn't know how to handle. But when we made mistakes, the guys that's really from it, you don't see us back in the hood doing those things because we capitalized. We capitalized off our blessing. We knew that we had an opportunity to get out, and that was the whole reason why a lot of people around us was hustling. It wasn't to be seen as a gangster. It wasn't to be recognized in the hood. It was to make money. It was to take care of our families. It was to get our family out the hood. So a lot of us got it, and the ones that really lived that life, the ones that really struggled, are the ones that got out and didn't turn back. But you got a lot of people that don't come from it that glorify that life because they feel like their money can buy for them and they can be around it. I grew up around it. That's why you don't see me live being in the hood all the time. I go back and visit. I go see different people, and I go to different hoods, and I go show my love to show that, hey, I'm from this area. You can be where I'm at, but being here and staying here ain't gonna get you there. So it's ways to handle it, B and Ash. But a lot of guys that do stuff like this, you can tell that they ain't come from it. They trying to be something they not.
On our show, when I said, anybody who is from the hood does not want to go being from the hood is not a badge of honor. Being from the hood sucks. Being poor sucks. Not having money sucks. Not having food on the table sucks. Not being able to go to the playground without worrying about it getting shot up sucks. That's not a way to live. People who come from that don't wear it as some badge of honor. People who come from that are trying to get out of that by any means possible, which results in things like dealing drugs, which results in things like joining gangs, because it's a way to remove yourself from a toxic environment. So for people to go ahead like Ja, who does not come from that, who was blessed to not come from that, is a blessing to come from an environment that you don't have to worry about where your next meal is coming from, where you don't have to decide between heat in the winter or gas to go ahead and put the stove on so you can make food. Like, that is a blessing to not come from that. So to have everything given to you and also to go ahead and create a recipe for success and reach the mountaintop that only 1% of ball players will ever see. Going to the NBA is an anomaly. It does not happen often. Like I said, there are guys in the hood more talented than Ja Morant who will never see a fraction of his success because they are not blessed. They don't have opportunity. They get caught up doing the wrong things. To take that and that to not be enough for you is sad. It is unfortunate. It is frustrating, and it is sad. And only he can figure out why it's not enough.